live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you tonight as it is the BK Takeover Part 72. BK Brian Kelly doing good things on the field, in the film room with the team, and some good things in recruiting. We will talk about that, what Brian Kelly is doing on and off the field. We'll talk a little bit of recruiting, the culture and the change, and how it is greatly impacting the team. A lot of people freaking out about one player going into the portal. You should expect it. Surprised that it hasn't happened before today. But Brian holding, Coach Kelly, rather, holding people accountable for their actions, is that has been the biggest word that we continuously hear. We'll talk all things LSU football off the top. We'll do an offensive deep dive tonight. We've talked a lot about Mike Denbrock. I've been working hard to talk about what we're going to see from LSU. A lot of the things will be a little repetitive in the beginning, but as we get more into the deep dive, I'll tell you more about what to expect, not only this spring, but more that we will see this fall from LSU's offense. We will do LSU defense and Matt House this week as well. Hashtag Ruffino's rants. A lot of people freaking out in reference to guys like Brandon Murray, Xavier Pinson, Sharif O'Neal, who announced today that he is going into the transfer portal. He didn't formally announce it, but he deleted it, but he's still in the transfer portal. So we will talk about give Matt McMahon a little time here. And maybe a little bit of Ruffino's rants about everybody stop DMing me and retweeting, oh, these kids, man, I tell you what, they don't want to compete. Sharif O'Neal doesn't want to compete. His daddy would never. His daddy left Orlando to go to the Lakers. So don't ever say ever. And it's not Sharif O'Neal's fault for Will Wade's incompetence. We'll touch on that as well. Saints need to make a move. Traquan Smith is not going to get it done. I might tee off on the Saints here tonight as I've let the New Orleans Saints do what they think that they need to do. But it seems to me that their plan has backfired and they need to be called out about it. Not a lot of people calling out the Saints. We're going to call them out. And at the end, we'll get into conspiracy in sports. It's something fun that somehow, some way manifested itself on the show. So we'll pick that up on Mondays. Conspiracy in sports. Mine, I don't really feel as a conspiracy, but that's what makes conspiracy theories, right? So sports conspiracy theories at the end of the show. And we'll do that. All right. Zach Lee is in the building, our producer. Not literally in the building. He's in his building. I'm in my building. Maybe one day when the studio gets built and he makes a lot more money, not for me. He's going to have to go get a big boy job. Zach, go ahead and be an attorney or invent a rocket like your name's Elon Musk. Do something good with your life, but just give me all your monies. I mean, come on, bro. Like, don't be stingy. Would Jesus give me his money? Yes, Zach. That's all you need to know. All right. Let's get to comments before we get started. Nerds Court says, Blake always makes me feel better about my random tweets to him in our group chat. That's not you. I'm not talking about you. Ryan Thibodeau says, Traquan. Yeah. Traquan is coming back to the Saints. 2-year deal. Crying Belly, who, if you have not been in Twitter Spaces, has I don't even know the verbiage to put to Crying Belly and some of the things that he says. But he says, I don't blame a single kid for wanting to go in the portal. I'm a little there with you, especially if it's LSU basketball. Chris Ingo says he's a linebacker that probably already saw the writing on the wall. He wasn't going to get much playing time. Well, yeah. Still stinks. You don't want players to leave, but hey, when you got players leaving Alabama and going to the portal, I mean, what makes you naive enough to think that LSU's not going to have some? Rob Boudreaux says, I saw TM7, Tyrann Mathieu was there today. Yeah, and we'll touch on that out the break. We'll touch about what's going on there and some big things coming. Edward O says, Ruffino start retweet RT this year. He's not on campus. Bump, 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 bump. See, if I say that, some of you won't pick up what I'm putting down. I don't think. Let me say this. I feel that there's a really good feeling around Tyler Steen. Really, really good feeling. So we'll see. That is the Vanderbilt right tackle. Skipper Talley says, let's bring on DeBen. Don't summon him. I mean, man, the 3-year-old has gone wild. I can't contain him anymore. Can't contain him. Matt M, I'm assuming Ryan here is saying Matt M got his first big commitment, big transfer. Yeah, and let's see if he can get guys like Justice Hill. We'll talk on that as well. We'll talk about that in the Ruffino's rants. All right, let's get started. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to your Facebook pages. Share if you're on Facebook. First off, everybody, if you haven't done so, go hit the like button and follow button on our Facebook page. We're so close to 10,000. I'm about to do a bigger giveaway. I'm about to do, like, if you go and rate and review on our Apple podcast and you like our Facebook page, help us get to 10,000. Get us to 200 reviews on Apple Podcasts. I'm willing to give 200 smackaroos if we get to 10,000 likes on Facebook. We only got 400. We only need 400, y'all. And 200 reviews on Apple Podcast. 200. Go to Apple, rate, review, and subscribe. Go to our Facebook page if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button. Oh, I'll make it 500 if you give us to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. So let's do the trifecta here. 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, 10,000 followers on Facebook, 200 reviews on Apple, and one lucky listener will win $500. Is that a deal? 500 smackaroos. Zach, go to the Tigers Avenue podcast right now and put breaking. Blake Ruffino of Are You Serious Sports announced tonight that he is willing to give $500. No, sir. Come here. What happened? What happened? Mama spanked you? Why did Mama spank you? Why did Mama spank you? Were you being bad? Uh-huh. Okay, did you deserve a spanking? Okay. Well, go in there and be a good boy, okay? Love you. It's okay. Go in there and be a good boy. Shut Dave's door, okay? Love you. Sounds like Ben, that's my son, just got his little rear end popped. Looking forward to the new studio. I must say so myself. Because he can come in here. I can't lock the door, man. I can't lock the door. He just he just hits it in. Hits it in. All right. Get back to it. To get back to it, Zach, go to Twitter, put breaking. Blake Ruffino of Are You Serious Sports says that he is willing to give $500 if everyone can get us to 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 followers on Facebook, and 200 reviews on Apple Podcast. There we go. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. That's also not everywhere we're putting our money where our mouth is too. But you'll have to wait very soon for that one. LSU will be fine. That's all I will say. Okay. So everybody hit the like button, hit the share. Share to some Facebook groups if you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell for your chance to win $500. Go rate, review, and subscribe if you're listening to us on the audio podcast platform. So many of you listen to us daily on the Apple Podcast platform. Go rate and review right now for your chance to win $500. All right, Zachy, let's pay some bills around this thing. None better than our good friends over at GM Barnard & Sons. BetOnline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Barnard & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down on the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Barnard & Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992. 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. It's that time of year again as college basketball takes center stage with the tournament finally upon us. If you're looking to wager this year, BetOnline is the number one spot for all of your updated odds, info, along with great contests, including the bracket contest where you have a chance to take home the top prize. Head over to the website and use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on that first deposit. Just use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get started. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. Again, that's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. All right, let's get this thing rolling, y'all. Zachy, 200 reviews on Apple. 200 reviews on Apple. That is what we're going to do. Okay, let's get into it. We do have a lot to get into. We'll get to a lot of the comments. Fire in any questions, thoughts, concerns you have regarding LSU. We'll get to as many of them during the show as we can. I want to start off here. Because, you know, and when I say this, a lot of people are going to hit me in the comments by saying, well, Blake, you know, Mac Markway, the tight end out of St. Louis, Missouri, that's a big deal. Yeah, good for Brian Kelly. He got a top 100 prospect in the country at a position of need, of desperate need, but he's not going to play for us this year. But anytime I talk positive about recruiting, well, Blake, we're sitting 30-something in recruiting. We're sitting 30-something. I can't. What do you mean Brian Kelly can recruit? What do you mean? If you missed it over the last couple of days, especially Saturday. Now, yesterday when we were on the show, I did not mention this, and I should have. If you missed it, a lot of Louisiana prospects are coming on campus and taking visits, whether it be official or unofficial visits on campus. When is the last time you saw a big recruit taking pictures with Brian Kelly while on campus? When do you remember a time where a kid can go and watch LSU play or practice and you know about it? The media might not like it, but I don't really give two Rudy Poos if the media doesn't like the recruiting exclusive rights to find out what's going on in recruiting. Brian Kelly doesn't care. But I did some digging. I made some phone calls. Talk to some recruits, talk to some people. And sometimes in recruiting, I will admit, you got to be careful. You have to be careful when you're talking to recruits because they'll say, oh, this is the best visit I've ever had, yada, yada, yada. No, Brian Kelly can't recruit. You know, Brian Kelly's a really good recruiter, yada, yada, yada. Because it's still very early. And from talking to the parents, talking to everyone that is involved around LSU, there's a different vibe even more than Orgeron. Maybe Brian Kelly isn't a better recruiter than what Ed Orgeron was as an individual person. But from everyone that I've talked to, the staff, holistically, when it comes to Cortez Hankton, Frank Wilson, Brian Polian, Mike Denbrock, some of them have never seen an offensive coordinator recruit as heavily as Mike Denbrock has done and the 10 to 12 guys that I've talked to. I think it's interesting to find out what LSU's truly about, and I think that we will in this recruiting process. Is Brian Kelly a bad recruiter, or does Brian Kelly, along with the LSU brand and the nameplate and and on his chest, it's saying LSU, how big of a deal does it really mean? It means a whole hell of a lot. Because it's not just me saying it now. And you could say, well, Blake, it is you saying it. You're on your show talking about it, whatever. And I understand that. But now you have recruits going public with it. Now you have recruits, offensive linemen that maybe you never really would have or did entertain when Ed Orgeron or Les Miles were here. Not only are you going to, you have a potential to not only lock the state down, but to go nationally and get top guys at big position needs. What did you think was going to happen, or what did you think after LSU was able to do what they did in the transfer portal to get a top 6 class? Did you think it just stopped there? But the funny thing in all of this is when, and this was to my point. Now, yesterday we talked about accountability. Mike Jones Jr., who has come on this show and talked about accountability. Now, when Mike comes on the show and the only thing that he talks about is accountability, funny how the only media question while that practice Saturday is about accountability, right? Y'all find that funny? But they don't watch you, Blake. They don't know who you are. But Mike Jones comes on this show and he talks about accountability, and that's all that they want to talk about Saturday when they have the players in specific access. Not only is Brian Kelly holding the players accountable, he's holding everyone in that building accountable. There's one central focus. I don't know how it's going to translate on the field right now. We're about to do this offensive deep dive. We'll talk about it. Talk about what I think. But as far as there ever being any more of a concern for Brian Kelly, for whatever it's worth, there really shouldn't be. So you might be asking yourself, well, Blake, what are you specifically talking about? I would tell you to read between the lines. Recruits coming on campus, recruits being around players, recruits being around the new Brian Kelly era, not just talking to their position coach or Frank Wilson, talking to Brian Kelly. Now you have a situation where you have probably, in my generation, the second best LSU Tiger of all time when it comes to football, and Tyrann Mathieu in that building for an entire week. Tyrann Mathieu FaceTiming the number 1 safety in the country. Tyrann Mathieu doing a favor, probably, I would assume, for guys like Frank Wilson, who took a shot on him so many years ago. Guys that he's been around, like Matt House, to say, hey, Tyrann, make your stamp here. And Tyrann went on today with Jordy Kalata and talked about wanting to be a coach, if not the head coach at LSU. Good for him. Tyrann's playing his part. But Brian Kelly allowing that access and allowing him to come in and do that is humongous. Do you mean to tell me that if there's a number 1 safety in the country, or even a safety in your own state, that Alabama's going after hard, pause, you don't think a FaceTime from Tyrann Mathieu changes that game? What I guess my whole thing in all of this is, what did you fully expect? Now, I am going to temper my thoughts and beliefs on this, but I don't worry about Brian Kelly like I did at Orgeron. Guys, I got to be honest. I just don't. I don't worry about this staff. One player going into the transfer portal when you have 83 other guys not missing a practice, whether they be injured or not. Kayshon Boutte showing up for every practice, taking mental reps because Brian Kelly is holding him accountable and demanding him to be there. That only makes your team better. It's a different era, man. It's a different era. So we will get into this offensive scheme and an offensive deep dive and some things that I'm taking away. Some things that I am taking away. I just saw your Zach, you're gonna have to delete it and do it again. You got some misspellings in there. Delete the comment and do it again. There's some misspellings. Not Blake Ruffino Wee Wee. I don't know who Blake Ruffino Wee Wee is, but regardless, let's do that again, and then we'll run with it. But I'm interested to see what some of you guys think. Let's get to a couple comments, and then we'll get to this offensive deep dive. Blaine Smith says, interested to see who starts at wide receiver. Well, right now it's Chris Hilton, Brian Thomas, Jack Best, Jeray Jenkins. I mean, those are your four. Cole Taylor's in there. And look, my DMs and my comments got blistered yesterday on YouTube. I'm going to have to let Zach be the moderator on YouTube so he can respond to all the Rudy Poos who give us nothing but hate. Zach, would you love that? But, and again, I'm going to be pushing, some people will believe I'll be pushing a narrative. But look, guys, pads are coming on soon. Let's see what Chris Hilton can do. Brian Kelly just raving about Chris Hilton. I'll tell you this, Brian Thomas looks bigger. He's put on some muscle. I'm telling you, man, the kid is AJ Green reincarnated. I don't know if he is from a college football perspective. I don't know if he's as fast as AJ Green was, but man, that kid he's lean, he's long, he's tall. Did his hands get a lot better? We'll see. Pads are coming on soon. When the popping starts and the hitting starts, let's see what happens. Oh, by the way, did you see when Tremont Shorts or was it Cordell Thomas? I forget. Missed a block. He had to start running laps. and it's one thing and the way that what I asked is like, damn, bro, you're going to get these offensive linemen pretty skinny if they miss a block. From what I understand, it's not missing a block anymore. It's like what I mean. It's not about missing the block. It's about missing the assignment. Meaning if a guy just physically is better than you on one play, okay, it is what it is. But if you miss an assignment, your ass is running. Hey, man, take it back to 2008, Franklinton, Louisiana, baby. As my old Pee Wee coach and former or father to former number 18, Brandon Taylor, take that shit to the pile. Now, what he meant by that is the field that we practiced on had a huge mounds of dirt. And we would practice on this all-grass field, large mounds of dirt. And if we missed an assignment, you ran your ass to the pile and you ran back. Looking back on it, it was probably 50 yards, there and back. Or probably 50 yards there and then 50 yards back. So, I mean, it wasn't really that bad if you really think about it. But when I was a kid, I felt like I told my mom one time, it's like, Mama, Coach Taylor made me run 7 miles today. She's like, dude, what now? It's like, yeah, 7 miles. Ran to the pile 7 times. 7 miles. She's like, Blake, this is not 7 miles. Your big ass would be dead. Kenny says Tigers spanked that Gator booty. Yeah, we'll get to the spanking in Gainesville. Guys, I got to tell you, I am so excited. I am so excited that we beat Florida this weekend. Look, huge weekend for the Tigers. If this team can stay hot and consistent, now they play tomorrow. I'm glad that they only have a day off and they get ready for Tuesday. I'm glad that they're not playing on a Wednesday. Then they turn right around and they play Auburn on Thursday. Auburn's a struggling baseball team. When you start getting hot, what if LSU takes another 2 out of 3? Hell, even sweeps Auburn this upcoming weekend. Sheesh! Oh, and by the way, that Texas A&M loss or that Texas A&M loss from series loss doesn't look so bad now, does it? If you missed it, they beat the dog shit out of Auburn. I mean, just patty smacked them. Bad baby, bad baby. LSU has the potential to start getting things rolling now. I thought the pen looked good. I thought Paul Gervais is the best guy out of the pen. There's a reason you don't see guys like Devin Fontenot as much anymore. Shout out to Devin Fontenot and Fontenasty. But Fontenot ain't Paul Gervais right now. He's the best guy coming out of the pen. Got to give a shout out to Dutton, starting on Sunday and shutting things down. As Will Smith would say, we're lock loaded and hunting your ass down. Now, you probably thought I was going to say Will Smith smacking the crap out of Chris Rock. But I'm talking Bad Boys 2 when he's talking to your boy Reggie. Have my daughter home. We can be lock loaded and hunting your ass down. Hey, man, all I got to say is Will Smith told you. West Philadelphia, born and raised. Bro, playground is where he spent most of his days. Chilling, relaxing, some cool, shooting some b-ball outside the school. But look, man, he's been a fighter. One day, a couple of guys came up to his hood, started making trouble. He got one little fight. His mama got scared, said, "Moving with John T and Uncle and Bella." Okay, I can't go all night with the Bel Air reference. But LSU surely smacked Florida like their name was Will Smith. By the way, I'm glad we did not hire Kevin O'Sullivan. He does not look like a baseball coach to me. Might be a great baseball coach. He's a national title winner, sure. But my man's, it's 75, 80 degrees outside. He's wearing a long sleeve hoodie without any shirt on underneath. Like, bro, you're coaching baseball. We don't need to see your spray tan and your tanning bed tan underneath your sweatshirt. Nobody on God's green planet wants to see that. I don't like Kevin O'Sullivan. Never liked Kevin O'Sullivan. All right. Craig Schilling says, I go out into the backyard to take a wee-wee. Yeah, Zach, my name's not Blake Ruffino wee-wee. Come on, bro. Breaking. Rick says Blake still breaking in Zach. It's okay. It's his rookie season. He's got a great future. Look, I mean, we're going to have to start calling him Henry Rollingardner. I mean, look, man, remember it took Henry a good 3 games to get that first close, get that first save. Look, Zach, you better be throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs in here. That's another movie, Zach. Zach at the Tigers Avenue podcast. Their show will be following us right after this, so go to the Tigers Avenue podcast, subscribe there too. Him and his brother Reagan will be on there. That's another. They did the top 5 sports movies of all time on their show this past Saturday. I forget the day, but they did top 5 sports movies. Y'all didn't talk about rookie of the year. Maybe y'all did football movies or whatever, but it's a crying damn shame, Zach. I mean, my man took the Cubs to a World Series. It's a damn shame. Everdo says, Booty, Besh, Brian, triple Bs. The triple B. I like that. I like it a lot. I see a lot of people in here saying Ben came in here dry snitching. Ben did come in here dry snitching. Hey, man. Thomas Robinson says, at Blake, do you think that there's another sleeper on the team like Jefferson on the team was that is flying under the radar? I think that that's a good question. So let's get into this offensive deep dive for a minute and why I think that this person could be a sleeper. Let me tell you, and I don't know if he's going to have a breakout season. I don't think – I don't know. See, comparing somebody to Justin Jefferson, right? Like, meaning you have a guy that's going to work himself from a 2-star recruit to a number 1 overall pick, rookie of the year, first-team rookie of the year, broke the receiving record in the NFL, national champion. I don't know if one of those guys possesses that right now. Now, we're going to have to wait and see that. There's 2 guys I'm keeping my eye out very closely this offseason. Number 1 is Cole Taylor. Number 2 is Chris Hilton. Now, let me go to Chris Hilton first. You can't teach elite speed. Brian Kelly has not had receivers. Now, he's had some here and there that runs 4.4, But there's a difference in running a 4-4 and having four guys that can do it, or maybe not, probably four guys that can do it, versus having majority of your wide receiver room that runs a 4-5-7, 4-4-6. It's a big difference. Brian Kelly's going to want to get his speed guys the football. Guys, they're going to spread attack. You know, Zach, what's funny to me is the more that we talked about Brian Kelly over the last 2 months is that, oh my God, Brian Kelly's going to run 2 tight ends. Here comes Les Miles, toss dive. What made you ever think that? People are lazy when they say shit like that. They're lazy. So what you're seeing already from LSU, well, Blake, they're only throwing 5-yard passes. The 2 passes Jane Daniels threw when media was available and you saw them, where one was a 4-yard pass. The other one was a deep out, a 15-yard out, which, by the way, hit Jack Besh in the helmet. And the other one that I saw was a dig route that I think he hit either Jeray Jenkins on, but Jeray wasn't there Saturday. I mean, he wasn't dressed out, I don't believe. Some say that he was on the sideline. Precautionary. Forget who he hit on that play. But nevertheless, but Cole Taylor, so Chris Hilton and Cole Taylor, seems as if that they're really trying to get the tight end the ball. You remember when Steve Ensminger was coaching the tight ends before he officially went over to coaching quarterbacks? You remember when he was offensive coordinator, was still coaching tight ends, he made an emphasis to get the ball to Foster Moreau. Now, what we noticed was Foster Moreau actually wasn't that slow. Remember when he ran a 4.5 in the 40 at the combine, and they actually got him involved. Mike Denbrock coaching tight ends, I would find it very hard to believe that Jack Mashburn and Cole Taylor aren't going to be heavily involved from a patch catching perspective. They have shown that they want to get Cole Taylor the football. I don't know if Cole Taylor's ready for that smoke. Let me say that again. I don't know if Cole Taylor's ready for that action. But there is going to be an emphasis to get him the football. He's a big-bodied kid. He has a summer to work out. Get some weight on him. They're flexing him out wide. They're putting him in the slot. By the way, that's what he played in high school. I mean, what do you do if you give a 6'7" guy a jump ball? Now, LSU didn't give Cole Taylor a lot of chances to catch the football. Now, if you really think about it, the one time, and it was even some people would believe that Max Johnson on the one touchdown that Cole Taylor had was to Kayshon Boutte. But Cole Taylor catches it and runs away from Mississippi State's defense, and we'll see it. Now, 2 guys ran into each other. But I think that he has the ability to do it. Now, a lot of people aren't being patient with Cole. And what I would say is this. Not everybody can come into a program and dominate. Going into his 3rd year, let's see what he can do. Guys, he's got what? He was in here 2020, so it's technically a redshirt year in theory, the COVID year. Played last year, so he's got 3 more years. He can have some change. He can have a lot of change physically and getting out in space. Kenny, so from an offensive philosophy, and Kenny, I like what he just says here. I like Jake. He says, I like Jake Flint. No disrespect to Tommy Moffitt, but it was time for a change. I agree with that. But from an offensive philosophy standpoint, spread attack, LSU has not shown as of yet to be putting the ball under center, although they have some a little. But I think it should show you what we've been talking about all off season. RPOs, zone reads. Guys, every play to the running back, every play has a zone read concept behind it. Every one. Every single one. That goes for Miles Brennan. That goes for Garrett Nussmeier. That goes for Jane Daniels. That goes for Walker Howard. They're going to have action on the backside of a play. So if the quarterback wants to pull it and throw it, pull it, take off, they can do so. What quarterback do you think that benefits the most? Or quarterbacks? Or type of quarterback? Jaden Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier, Walker Howard. It's not Miles Brennan. So what I've seen from Cincinnati a lot too, and from Notre Dame. So one thing that I have not mentioned a lot is this in watching film. Brian Kelly likes to hit a lot of quick dink and dunk passing in the beginning of a game. Get the quarterback in a rhythm. And then all of a sudden, once you get halfway through the first quarter, once you get midway through the second, they start opening that biatch up. And when I'm talking about opening up, I'm talking about legit NFL concepts from the wide receiver group. It's not just slants, hitches. I mean, they're doing rub routes, RPOs. That Stanford game was immaculately called and schemed up by Brian Kelly. Immaculate. Beautiful. I could make the argument that if you watch that Alabama game versus Cincinnati, there were multiple times that Mike Denbrock knew that he did not have the athletes that Alabama possessed. And he out-schemed Nick Saban and Pete Golden to a chance where if you have Chris Hilton, if you have Malik Neighbors, if you have Brian Thomas, if you have Kayshon Boutte for crying out damn loud, if you have that, guys, ball game. Let me say that again. Mike Denbrock schemed open and schemed up guys. I don't care that he had time to prepare. What do you think he's doing right now? Nick Saban's defense doesn't drastically change. Newsflash. Hey, wait for it. Newsflash. Nick Saban's defenses don't change that much. What do you think Mike Denbrock's ready to go and doing? He schemed up. That defense for Alabama did not change in 2019 to 2020. Go pop in the film. If you don't know what you're looking at, come ask. So he schemed up and he had Alabama on the ropes. Desmond Ridder gets more time. If receivers catch the passes in the end zone, guys, we're looking at ball game. All right. Be careful what you wish for. Oh, God. Zach, do you see the comment from Crying Belly? Not trying to debate, just what I've seen. Now, what is he trying to say? Crying Belly says, kind of funny. The only video they showed of Miles Brennan was a sack. LMAO. The narrative is real. So Crying put me in a thing today on Twitter. But Crying, here's the thing that you're ultimately forgetting. So Crying put me in a thing on Twitter today saying, the media's running a narrative that Miles Brennan's number 2. Basically. The narrative's real, Blake. It's your fault. Not the jelly bean buttons. Do you know the Muffin Man? Yes, the Muffin Man. We can't control if Jane Daniels is running with the ones, big guy. We can't control what Brian Kelly gives access and doesn't give access to. We can't control that they went in the portal and got another quarterback. We can't control Miles Brennan confirming his accident last season. We can't control what the media sees. What narrative do you want them to push? Because LSU, you want to talk about narrative, the only thing LSU's pushing right now is Miles Brennan. Go look at the video today. Is there a video of Jane Daniels from either media or LSU? There's not. What narrative are you talking about? See, this is the misconceptions that everybody continues to want to believe. Lies. All right. Let's do this, Zachy. Let's get to a very quick break. Before we get to our commercials, got to talk about my good friend Richie Roche over at Roche's Lawn and Landscape, 225-937-7220. It's 225-937-7220. He's going to be out of the Ruffino house not too long doing our landscaping. Guys, I got to tell you, the only person I trust is Richie. This process with him has been absolutely fantastic. 225-937-7220. Let him know that your good friend Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on by. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about our good friends over at Gramco and our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com, and we'll be talking some LSU baseball and continuing the football conversation. Put your conspiracy and sports inside the chat. Any questions or thoughts you have, put them inside the Rudy Crew chat right now. So let's talk about our good friends over at Gramco, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Guys, I've got to talk to you about our good friends over at Gramco. They are the Delta 8 company based out of the state of Florida. They're founded by college football junkies just like you and I am not sure if you're familiar with Delta 8, but you need to be. Gramco is the absolute leader in this field, and they have phenomenal products that I just need to tell you about. First off is the Wake and Bake coffee that is absolutely spectacular. The gummies are as well, as they're the best in the market. So go to thegramco.com right now and use the promo code AYS25. That's thegramco.com, AYS25 promo code to get 25% off of your order. Jump on this fast as it is perfect for holidays, anniversaries, and everyday use. Gramco is hemp-derived and completely legal inside of the state of Louisiana. No medical card is needed, and shipping is very discreet. You must be 21 years older to order. Again, that's thegramco.com. Use that promo code AYS. By the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. Every time I'm going to continue to say it until it just becomes natural, Zach. I love those goddamn commercials. Whoo! Does it help a brother out or what? Craig Schilling firing inside the chat. Zach, have you seen any of these? The sports conspiracies. Fire them inside the chat. But he says Craig Schilling says hashtag sports conspiracy. NCAA tournament officials making favorable calls for Duke so Coach K can end up with a natty. That was mine. Greg took mine. I fully believe that they wanted a UNC Duke rematch. Like, I fully believe it. But I will say this. The only thing that's not a conspiracy theory to me is sports is very chalky, right? Meaning, and what do I mean by chalky? You have, in football, you have Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Clemson. Like, those are normally your teams that end up in the playoff, right? Kind of funny how the Final Four ended. Kansas, UNC, Duke, Villanova. I mean, all of them wear blue, by the way. That's another conspiracy. The NCAA logo's blue. So is all the teams in the Final Four. It's rigged. I agree with our good friend Craig Schilling. Zach, what else you got for us? Any more conspiracies on here? Let's see. Carl Dunn says not wearing a tinfoil hat. Hashtag conspiracy. Hey, by the way, I saw Carl the Cat Dunn getting down this weekend, though, y'all. Carl the Cat was making things happen, bro. He was making things happen. Look, we talked about this last night in the post game. Okay. Huge series win for LSU. Huge series win at taking down Florida. Can they build on it? Now, Devin Fontenot's starting tomorrow, I believe. Zach, is that confirmed? If so, I like Fontenot starting. I don't like him coming out of the pen, really. He's done some good things, but let's see. Let's see if Fontenot can find a role for him. But man, did they, the bullpen looked good. The bullpen was sharp. It stinks that you lost the Friday night game, but you responded very well. Very, very, very well. Very, very, very well. Rick says, hashtag ask Blake, which LSU quarterback do you think is most concerning to SEC West teams? Joe Burrow's most unappreciated skill was his ability to avoid the rush and make plays happen with his feet to see Bama in the Bama game in 2019. Let me say this. The most fearing quarterback on the roster right now, it might not be for this season, is Walker Howard. I mean, that would be the quarterback that I feared the most, right? Like, no question whatsoever. Walker Howard is the quarterback that I fear the most. However, for this season and the offense that LSU is going to run, it's Jayden Daniels. I've talked about this so much before. I was at a coaches convention. Yes, I'm not a coach, but somebody let me come with them. But there was a coaches convention and Nick Saban spoke. And Saban talked about that he would rather somebody throw for and it was something ridiculous, like 580 yards on him, than have a quarterback scramble out of the pocket and there's nothing that they can do about it. I agree with him. I agree. Zach, if we have any more of these conspiracies in sports, fire them in there for us. Aunt Marshall says sports conspiracy, the same guy who hid Ray Lewis' suit is a person who cut the lights off during the Super Bowl so the Ravens could come back. I mean, that is what you call a conspiracy right there. Damn, dog. I heard it was New Orleans Police Department guy that tripped over a wire when he was walking and he tripped over something. But we'll see. What's another? Here's one. Chris Barnhill says sports conspiracy last night scene at the Oscars was staged to set up a pay-per-view between Will Smith and Chris Rock. I think it's funny that he would go after a family member of Dwayne Johnson. I think it's funny he would go after Chris Rock's cousin, I still think it's staged. If you look at Chris Rock, he's kind of like doing like this, like tensing up, like he's about to get patty smacked. No pause. Yeah, I believe it's staged. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. The Golden Boot Pod, Pooh Bear, Daniel, Ant, Chris. They had a really damn good episode last night, aired today. Y'all should go check it out. But he says, hashtag sports conspiracy theory. Angels in the outfield was based on a true story. Huh. Pooh Bear, what story? Or what true event? Because me and Father Matthew Abear, who is an active listener of the show, are going to have questions if it was a team that I don't root for. Like, say, bro, can you tell Jesus a little something for me? Like, and we got Reagan on Tigers Avenue podcast. They're going on live after our show. What team was it, Pooh Bear? That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Brian Champagne says conspiracy sports, but he's OBJ. Am I the only person that sees that? OBJ, conspiracy theory, OBJ. Zach, do you see that? In the comment, you see it says OBJ like right here. There's a little box that says OBJ, or am I going crazy? Maybe it's just my computer. But it says conspiracy in sports. Seahawks loses the game because they didn't want Marshawn Lynch to win the MVP. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Darren says the ratings grab. Rock Smith was staged 110%. Oscars ratings sucked to begin with. They begin to boost somehow. Oh yeah. Jeff says hashtag sports conspiracy. In 2011, the committee passed on Oklahoma State to let Saban win another title. Oklahoma State lost, though, man. I mean, look, as much as I hate it, Jeff, the two best teams were in that game. All right, let's get to one more. And then we'll get into some more LSU stuff. Rick says hashtag sports conspiracy. Zach played Smalls and Sandlot. You're killing me, Smalls, with the typo. I could see that. And he wore the long bill. You remember when Smalls wore the long bill? His, like, the pastor hat, the pastor fishing hat. That was 1,000% Zach. Long bill hat wearing. Zachary Lee. I fully believe it. I fully believe it. Fully believe it. Zachy, I got to tell you, man. It's not looking good for you right now, Smalls. You know what we're going to have to do, Zach? I'm going to have to get a button I can press like, you're killing me, Smalls. We'll do that. All right, I lied. Last one. Travis Dyson. What's up, Travis? Oh, I'm clipping this. I'm clipping this one. I'm clipping it. Travis is always clowning on somebody, so it's time for me to clown on Travis. Just joking, dog. Chill, relax. Get you some Gramco. Gramco.com, AYS promo code AYS25. TheGramco.com. But he says, hashtag conspiracy theories, Daniels intentionally throwed an interception for every touchdown to throw the college football world off, and now Saban is terrified. You see what he does there? He's a big Miles Brennan fan. Big Miles Brennan fan. All right. Fire inside some thoughts here. Huge week. We got day three tomorrow of LSU football spring camp. Oh, I want to say this before I bring Zach in here because we got about 4 or 5 minutes. The New Orleans Saints got to make a move. The Saints have to make a move. If you haven't been watching it, they cleared all the, how have you not been watching it? But just in case you haven't, the Saints cleared a lot of cap room to get Deshaun Watson. Newsflash, as everybody knows, they didn't get Deshaun Watson. But they bring in Jameis Winston. Jameis says he's ready to go. Jameis is saying all the right things. Now, if you missed my clip on Jameis Winston when he came back, I highly urge you go watch it. Jameis did not play bad last season at all. Go back and look at it. I actually think I have the stats here. 5 TDs against the Packers, 14 for 20. 19 of 35, 222 yards against Seattle with a touchdown. Had 8 rushes for 40 yards. Ran to the 1-yard line for you to win that football game. 74% completion percentage against the Patriots, 226 yards, a touchdown. Washington, which was probably his worst game, went 15 of 30, 279 yards, 4 touchdowns and an interception, a long bomb to Deontay Harris or Deontay Hardy, whatever you want to call it. Look, Jameis played decent last season. He played above average. If you want to win, you got to go get him weapons. Stop with the BS. Stop with the we think this guy that we picked up on the practice squad is going to go do good. If you're planning and anticipating Chris Olave from Ohio State to be there at 18, I don't know what to tell you. There's some good receivers in this class. You're going to have to start going outside of the offensive line, and I know that you got to do big things up front, but you draft Marcus Davenport a couple seasons ago. You have Cam Jordan. Then you draft Peyton Turner. You got to go get an offensive weapon. If Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended 6 to 8 games, you can't leave Jameis out there on an island. Oh my God, it's Jameis's fault. When Alvin Kamara does not have a rushing or a season where he rushes over 1,000 yards. Now, again, he catches the ball a lot out of the backfield. You got to help Jameis Winston out. You got the best quarterback of all time coming out here, wanting to be traded and getting, now I think Tom Brady's going after Julio Jones, right? Like, that's his big thing right now is going after Julio. The Tampa Bay Bucks are putting their money where their mouth is going to winning for Tom. Do the same shit for Jameis. That's the one thing in sports, talking about conspiracy in sports, that drives me bananas. 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 Go help your quarterback out. Stop with the bullshit. There's nothing more in sports that makes me more pissed off than you not going and getting weapons. You don't want to protect him. You let Tyron Armstead walk. Well, Blake, what about the money? What about this? You got to get the man weapons. You would never allow this to happen under Drew. You went and got pieces for him every single year. Go get him pieces. For Christ's sakes. All right. Nothing pisses me off more. Nothing. I get you got to build, and sometimes your roster can be bad. But you kick the can down the road so many years. You better pray to God. You better pray to sweet baby Jesus above. Oh, dear God. Dear 7-pound, 8-ounce sweet baby Jesus above. You better pray. All right. Let's bring Zachy in here. Zachy, you ready? Hopefully the stream doesn't stop on old Zachy like it has been.
Y'all pray. Y'all send some praying hands in the comments.
Zachy, how are you tonight? What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
All right, so you got a big show following AYS.
Yes, and a big brand new segment that we're excited about.
Okay. Tell all the people where they can find you. If you don't know, this is our producer, Zach Lee. Zach, you fired up for tonight? You ready to go?
Man, I am. I'm ready to go. Man, y'all can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tigers Avenue. Just search Tigers Avenue. You'll see my ugly face and my brother's ugly face up there. And y'all can subscribe. Of course, we're on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that good stuff at Tigers Avenue.
Zach, very quickly, because we're coming up on the break because y'all got to get started today. Anything said tonight and in about a minute and a half that really stuck out to you from the show and want to dive deep in? And I'm sure y'all will talk about in your show in just a minute.
Yeah, we had a comment sent in to the show asking about a sleeper. One of the sleepers for me is Kyron Lacy. You've seen a lot of footage, spring practice footage of him in reps, getting a lot of reps. And so I'm excited. If y'all don't know, he is number 16. He is taking Devontae Lee's old number. So number 16, if you see him out there, that is Kyron Lacy. He's gotten some reps at wide receiver. So I'm excited to see what he can do after LSU brought him in via the transfer portal. Another thing, going to baseball, I'm excited to see what Devin Fontenot can do as a starter. They talked a lot about him being a starter potentially coming into the season, and now we get to see that here in the midweek. So I'm excited to see that. I want to see this baseball team play some more games. Saturday, Sunday, awesome, fantastic. I mean, they just beat them like a drum. They did slap Florida around like Will Smith did with Chris Rock. And so that was really exciting and encouraging, but I want to see it continue and see some more consistency with this baseball team.
That's Zach Lee. I'm Blake Ruffino. We'll see you guys again, not tomorrow. We have the baseball game, but we'll try to get back Wednesday, as I think Mike Jones will be joining us. So it's going to be a fun show. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see y'all soon. You guys have a good night, and peace out, Girl Scouts.